everyone, welcome to StudyIQ English. Let's look at a very fascinating topic today for discussion. Now this is important because I'm not sure how many of you have actually heard about the largest uninhabited island on earth. Looks like in the last few days we have been discussing all these unique island territories. If you remember, last month I spoke to you in detail about the Coco Island. After that, about the Landfall Island in India. Then we proceeded to talk about two island areas in Iran which have been subject of controversy owing to the ongoing West Asian War. Initially we spoke about the arrow-shaped island near Iran that's known as Qeshm Island, and then yesterday almost we spoke about the Karg Island that happens again to be a limestone coral island but also one of the largest oil export terminals for Iran in the Strait of Hormuz, which is making headlines right now. But today, let's talk about something completely different which relates also to the space domain. So we are talking about the largest uninhabited island on our planet, the Earth. And do you know it is known as the Devon Island? Yes, the Devon Island. Now, very recently from the Arctic Circle, we had a whole big geopolitical controversy also about Greenland. How? I told you that US, which already has a great air base, military base in Greenland called as the Thule base or the Pituffik base, is now having its eyes on the Greenland because having access to Greenland means access to the rich resources of the Arctic, at the same time also the ability to supervise and monitor space programs conducted from other nations like Russia, like say China. So therefore US is highly keen, and that also resulted in some controversy with NATO, Denmark, who owns Greenland. And now today we are talking about a very unique landscape, as you can see in the picture here. It is a part of our planet, but it doesn't look like that. It looks too surreal to be a part of Earth. And we are talking about the Devon Island. Now remember that the climate and the landscape of Devon Island is so extreme. It is cold, it is dry, it is rocky, it is totally barren. It is so dry and unusual that it has been used by scientists and astronauts from NASA for a very long time now to conduct a kind of simulation, to conduct a kind of terrestrial analog for the kind of conditions that you find in the surface of Mars. In fact, a lot of people often keep joking about it also. Sometimes they say that maybe astronauts are roaming about in the Devon Island and we get a fake image that yes, they have already reached the Martian surface. Now this joke is popular because there is so much similarity in the landscape and climate of Devon, and when you compare this with the harsh conditions of Martian landscape, the landscape on Mars, you realize that definitely this is an analog to Mars itself. So that's in the news right now, quite interesting. And you can see the map here, the tiny little dot in orange that you can see in the Arctic region. Yes, this is the Devon. Now, Devon Island is located in the Canadian Arctic archipelago. Okay, archipelago is a group of islands, and I'm sure all of you know about the Arctic Council. Who all are the members of the Arctic Council? Always keep that in mind for UPSC exam. And now this Devon Island is here in the Arctic archipelago near Canada, and it comes within the territory of Nunavut in Canada. Okay, that's the name of the place, Nunavut in Canada. So it very much lies within the Arctic Circle, and we know that Arctic is the new place to be in. Because whether it's Russia, whether it's China, whether it's US, all these countries have their eyes fixated on Arctic because of its rich reserves of fish, oil, minerals. And the world is right now hungry for critical minerals. We know that, especially because China rules the roost when it comes to critical minerals. Now, with this in mind, let's remember Devon, which is right here in the Arctic, is the largest uninhabited island in the world. Its environment is very harsh. It doesn't support much vegetation and therefore doesn't support much human habitation as well. Now, environment is extremely cold here. It is barren, totally dry. It very closely resembles the surface of the planet Mars. And therefore, scientists at NASA keep using this island for experimenting, for testing, for trying to test and run their equipment to see and to explore all the technologies that possibly could make human access to Mars possible in a much easier manner. Okay, so now this is again a broad picture of Devon, and it looks like we are already in Mars if you look at this photo here. Now, extreme climate conditions are happening here because climate is typically the one that you expect from a polar desert, from a cold desert. It's a very dry area with very little rainfall. The winter temperatures are harsh. Now, everybody, when you ask them which is the coldest area in the world, most of the people will say Siberia, some will say Yakutia. And then initially, people used to believe that beyond Siberia, there's no more colder place. Antarctica, Siberia, Yakutia town, the coldest. But even if you look at Devon here, it is quite cold. Devon is really cold. Like minus 50 degree is the winter temperature. Summers are also pretty cold with about 2 degrees Celsius. That is the average area. It's a permafrost area. Now, very short growing season. It doesn't really support any long-term vegetation with a short growing season of about only a month or so, 44 days. Almost none vegetation, and landscape is so cold and rocky, it's covered with snow, so it's presumable that human habitations do not exactly live here. Now, there is a very interesting thing associated with the Devon Island. You can see the picture here. It's a crater. It's almost like a depression. And what is that? Now, this is known as the Haughton crater. Okay, this is known as the Haughton crater. This is an impact crater. It's huge. It's about 23 kilometers. And it is a meteoric structure on the Devon Island in the Canadian Arctic region, formed about 39 million years ago. Quite a matter of intrigue, in fact, for geologists, for environmentalists, even for astronauts. The fact that this crater right here was done through a meteoric impact right within the Canadian Arctic region of Devon, and this is known as the Haughton impact crater. Quite an important geography fact for UPSC. And this region is the exact place which is called Mars on Earth. Yes, it's called as Mars on Earth. Sounds very strange. Why? Because it's so cold and rocky that it is a total simulation. It's a copy of the environment that you find in Mars. And how does it help NASA astronauts? Naturally, if the conditions are so similar, then it's a great testing field and exploring technology like rovers and drones. Now, the importance of drones in modern warfare is not something we need to elaborate upon. I mean, we have seen so many wars right now, whether it's Russia-Ukraine, whether it was Azerbaijan-Armenia, whether it was India's Operation Sindoor against terror infrastructure in Pakistan. We keep seeing Israel-Palestine conflict, and now we are actually living and breathing in the wake of the West Asian war. We know that the Iran war with US is an asymmetric warfare where Iran is now using saturation strategy, and it means cheap drone and cheap ballistic missiles. So drone, unmanned aerial vehicle, is the most important war tool in today's times. Yes, so therefore this is a perfect area right here in the Devon where NASA astronauts can experiment with the latest and the most sophisticated rovers, the most sophisticated drones, due to its similarity with the Martian terrain. Now, this makes it a very, very intriguing region to study. Okay, even the imagery is exactly what you would expect from a non-terrestrial body to be. Now, what's the significance? The significance is that if equipment like rovers and drones and other apparatus of space is tested here on this terrain, it gives us a very clear picture about how to maintain shuttles, space programs in case there is a longer term plan for exploration of Mars. So then we get a good insight into that. Also, because such equipment can be used here for experimenting deep drilling systems, pressurized rover that cannot be easily repaired. If they are not on the planet, you can't repair them if they are damaged. So you can experiment that repair operations right here. By studying how organisms, various kind of living species, survive in Devon's frozen and sterile, that's totally non-fertile soil, NASA astronauts also understand how exactly and where to search for the signs of life, any potentiality of life on the Martian region. That's the surface of the Mars, and the extreme isolation of this area. The sheer inclemency in the climate of this area will also help astronauts to prepare for the challenges, both physical as well as mental, when you talk about long duration space missions. So now we also understand that across the whole world, space domain is becoming highly a privatized segment. Even agencies like Roscosmos, NASA, And the European Space Agency, including JAXA from Japan, they all say that it's important to now involve more private companies in development of space stations, development of reusable rocket, because now we need a better efficient technology at a lower price, and no government wants to spend time on maintain and repair. And that's why now I also told you multiple times, after the International Space Station is about to expire, a company from US is now creating the world's first International Space Station. That's again an example of how space technology will become privatized in times to come. And these areas are perfect test cases to study the newer technology and to prepare astronauts for more and more challenging space travel, because if someone can survive here in the Devon island for a long time, there are chances they are equipped to survive even in the non-terrestrial conditions perhaps. So that's what is being speculated right now. A quick practice question here. Consider the following statements regarding the Devon island. 1. It's the largest uninhabited island in the world, and it is located in Canadian Arctic archipelago within the territory of Nunavut. Second, the island receives a heavy snowfall and abundant rainfall, precipitation that supports tundra vegetation. And 3, the Haughton impact crater located in the island is widely used by NASA scientists to simulate conditions similar to the surface of Mars. Which of these statements do you think are true? Easy question. Try to answer and give me the response in the comment box, or else if you want more such important information, do use this QR code, scan it and become a part of our Telegram channel. A quick reminder, now is the time to enroll in the best possible sale offer that you might get in future. Because at StudyIQ, we are running the Success Mahotsav, Safalta Mahotsav. We have seen about 200 successful aspirants from StudyIQ in the UPSC Civil Services exam. The results have come just recently for 2025, and we want to see even double amount of candidates getting selected in times to come, because your success is our success, and therefore at a price that's giving you 60% off on market price plus a double validity. We are offering you courses for both 2027 and 28. Okay, and there is another thing. If you use my code SPLIVE to enroll for both these batches, even more discount on 60% and double validity. It's a limited period offer. So enroll today, or else book your slot and join whenever you find it convenient, because we have flexible batch timings and we in return guarantee you complete thorough 360-degree UPSC preparation. So enroll now, limited period offer, and don't forget to use code SPLIVE. Thank you so much.